Have you ever found yourself wondering why we call some controllers remotes and others, RC devices, even when they seem to do pretty similar things?
Yeah.
It's a really common confusion, actually. And in this deep dive, we're going to pull back the curtain on the technical and historical reasons behind it all.
Right. And our mission today, really, is to show you that, while technically the lines are pretty sharp, colloquially, they've just gotten incredibly fuzzy.
Fuzzy is a good word for it.
Yeah. Basically, remote control is the big umbrella term, operating any device from a distance. And radio control, or RC, is just one specific way to do that, using radio waves.
Okay, so if we're going to untangle this, where do we start? What is remote control at its most fundamental level?
Well, at its absolute core, remote control is just the ability to operate something from a distance.
Yeah.
Usually wirelessly, right? Without a direct physical connection.
Yeah.
And every system basically needs three parts: a transmitter, something to carry the signal, the medium, and then a receiver on the device.
And that medium is the key part.
Exactly. That medium is crucial. It could be an actual physical cable, like really old systems, or it could be sound waves, ultrasonic, light waves, like infrared, or electromagnetic radio waves.
Right. Okay, here's where it gets really interesting for me. So what makes radio control special within that broader idea?
Okay, so radio control, RC, that's specifically only using radio waves. That last category.
Gotcha.
And the huge advantage of radio, it can travel, significant distances. And it can go through things like walls. Which is absolutely essential for anything that moves out of your direct line of sight. Think about it. Infrared, IR, that's what most TV remotes use or used to.
Yeah, the classic remote.
Exactly. It needs a direct, clear line of sight. And the range is pretty limited, maybe 10 meters, something like that.
Yeah.
But radio frequency, RF, much longer ranges. We're talking 30 meters up to, many kilometers in some cases. And crucially, no line of sight needed.
So that leads to a clear hierarchy then.
Definitely. All radio-controlled devices are, by definition, remote-controlled. But, and this is the key, not all remote-controlled devices are radio-controlled. Lots use infrared or older tech.
So if the tech side is that clear-cut, how did we end up with this confusion in just everyday talk? I was looking into the sources, and it seems like it's because these two ideas, they just grew up completely separately, historically speaking.
That's exactly it. You've got two totally different paths. On one path, you have the consumer remote, and that was driven purely by, convenience.
Right, like who wants to get off the couch to change the channel or mute those ads?
Precisely. And you mentioned Zenith, right? Their first TV remote, the Lazy Bones, in 1950.
Yeah, it was wired, a tripping hazard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then the Flashmatic in 55 used light. But apparently bright sunlight could just randomly change channels. Imagine that.
That would be chaos. Your neighbor's remote changing your TV.
Well, that fear, that idea of accidentally controlling your neighbor's TV through the walls, that's actually why Zenith made a huge decision. They rejected radio for consumer TVs.
No kidding.
Yeah. So instead, in 1956, Robert Adler invented the Space Command. That used ultrasonic sound. That was the legendary clicker.
The clicker, I remember those.
Little hammers hitting aluminum rods, making high-frequency sounds the TV picked up. It was purely mechanical. And it dominated for 25 years.
Wow.
And that really cemented the idea of the remote in people's minds. Short range, line of sight, just for convenience at home. It only shifted to infrared in the early 80s, but still doing the same basic job.
Okay, so that's the home remote story. Meanwhile, radio control was on a completely different track.
Totally different world. This path was all about capability, performance, often military applications, serious stuff.
It started early too, didn't it? Tesla.
Yeah, way back. Nikola Tesla's teleautomaton boat in 1898, he controlled it wirelessly with radio waves in Madison Square Garden. Amazing demonstration.
I'm just on-off, basically.
Kinda. But the really modern idea, selecting specific commands, that came a bit later. A Spanish engineer, Leonardo Torres Quevedo, with his Telequino system, around 1903 to 1906.
Telequino?
Yeah. He steered a boat with passengers on board over 2 kilometers away. It worked by interpreting different transmitted code words for different actions. That was a huge leap. True selective control.
And that led to military uses.
Directly. World War I, World War II, radio-controlled drones, glide bombs, taking humans out of harm's way. After the wars, though, that advanced radio tech started becoming available to hobbyists.
The RC hobby scene.
Exactly. Which led to the really sophisticated proportional control systems we see today. RC cars, planes, drones. using complex terms like servos, binding, that kind of thing. It created this whole distinct RC identity focused on precise long-range control.
Okay, so we've got these two separate histories, separate identities, but you said earlier the lines are blurring now. How does that play out for, for you listening at home with your gadgets today?
Right. The fuzziness you probably notice, it's all down to modern tech just converging.
Yeah.
The cost of putting radio frequency tech, RF, and Bluetooth into devices has just plummeted.
So cheap radio chips are everywhere now.
Basically, yeah. So many devices you just casually call remotes, maybe for your smart TV, your streaming stick. They're actually using radio control now.
Which means you don't need line of sight anymore.
Exactly. You can control stuff hidden away in a cabinet, or maybe from the next room. That old infrared limitation, gone.
And then there's the smartphone.
Oh yeah, the smartphone is the ultimate game changer here. It's got Wi-Fi, it's got Bluetooth. So the same device in your pocket can be a remote for your TV using Wi-Fi.
Uh-huh.
And then seconds later, it's an RC controller for your little toy drone using Bluetooth. It just flicks between those roles seamlessly.
So the phone itself kind of erases that old distinction based on the controller hardware.
Pretty much. It makes the historical separation feel, well, less relevant day to day.
So wrapping this up then, the technical line, remote control versus radio control, it's still sharp if you look at the engineering.
Absolutely. Remote control is the broad concept. Radio control is a specific method using radio waves. That distinction holds.
But our everyday language, how we talk about it, that's gotten all mixed up. Decades of separate evolution, and now this modern tech just mashing it all together.
That's a perfect summary. And this whole legacy of wireless command, from Tesla's little boat to the clicker everyone remembers, right up to the Mars rovers being controlled across space. It keeps shaping our world, often invisibly now.
Yeah. And looking ahead, that distinction between a remote and an RC controller, it feels like it's just going to become less and less important, doesn't it?
It really does. As wireless command just becomes this invisible integrated part of our smart homes, the Internet of Things,
yeah,
it'll just be.
So the final thought for you is, what will you be controlling next without even thinking about how it works?